Hello and welcome to Bloke on the Range. This is a much more famous YouTuber than me who is here filming in Switzerland for his channel and asked if he could come shooting and how could I turn him down. So if you'd like to introduce yourself to those who may not recognize you.
Yeah, I'm Bismark. I'm from the channel Military Aviation History, where I delve into the history, well, of military aircraft anywhere from First World War until modernity.
And last autumn I did a couple of inserts on the Swiss Air Force in World War II for Bismark, and so some people from his channel may have come across to mine at that point, but in any case, now it's the return event. Now, Bismark has not in fact ever fired a projectile ever. Your entire experience of firearms-like things is?
A laser rifle.
A laser rifle. How old were you?
14.
Okay.
I did it once.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what we're going to do is, this is now my third victim. We'll see if Bismark is as much of a natural as Lindy Beige and Tim, who I had on earlier. Lindy Beige, if you recall, we shot at 50 meters to warm him up. He shot a little bit at 300, then we did some mad minutes. Today we're at 300 meters. We have the place to ourselves, which is awesome. Thank you very much to Starshot Satoon and Buddy for organising it. We are at 300 meters, and because Bismark is inexperienced, we're having my least unfriendly, my least recoiling centerfire rifle that's good for 300.
Yep.
Well, aside from Franken rifle, we want something historic. So we have my Danish contract 308 M1 Garand.
Yep.
And for anyone crossing over from Bismarck's channel, this is a half-inch shorter post-war variant of the American standard military service rifle from World War II. It takes an 8-round en-bloc clip that goes into the top, and you can see some of that in a bit. The only difference between this and the original is, well, half an inch off the barrel, because they were being cheap, they were cutting down existing barrels. And yeah, the caliber basically, and it was made post-war. So what we're going to do is I'll probably handheld the camera most of the time, and we're going to take Bismarck through it step by step. As someone who has never actually fired a rifle, had you handled one before other than in the car park just then?
Yes, I've had one in my hand, and somebody showed me how to cock the gun, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, I have absolutely no experience with how these things work.
Okay, so we'll go through the marksmanship principles. We'll do a bit of dry training, and before we start tapping in the comments, it will not be hurt by some dry firing. Then we'll load it up and fire some shots on target. And I have checked the sights are set for me, so they should be close enough for government work for Bismarck. So let's get down on the floor and do this.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, so we'll give the audience a bit of the Bismarck eye view. I'll show basically what we do here with the rifle with the 4 marksmanship principles. And basically the 4 things are: your position must be naturally pointing at the target, and I'll show you how to do this. And also, once we've got you down behind the rifle, we'll do it practically. Right. Sight alignment, which I'll just have to explain. Trigger pressing, so you need to press it such that you don't jerk it, and you need to follow through. We're going to shoot off, in Switzerland it's called a Berkeley, a rest with your hands in between. We're not going to bench rest style it, because I'm not a fan of that kind of shooting, and it's more sort of military practical.
Sure, yeah.
Also, with these fully stocked military rifles, sometimes the point of impact can be affected by where it is on the rest. So we hold it as if we were holding it normally, just with this in the way. So to start with, I'll put the bolt forward. The safety catch is here. That is fire. That is safe. But until we take the rifle off, we won't worry about it. It's just an extra complication. You don't need to worry about it. Yeah. So, first of all, position. The target's down there. You need your elbow not quite under the rifle. You don't want to be splayed, because if in the future you shoot free-handed, you need to have a good position based on what you already know. So with this, we try and do everything as close to normal unsupported shooting as possible. Now, when you look through the sights, you will see there's a hole there and there's a post there, and this one has a nice swanky National Match front post in it. And what we're going to do, we've got the target here, we're going to aim underneath the black with just a little bit of white, so about there. with the tip of the post in the middle of the rear sight. You'll find that your eye quite naturally will centre that, but you need to make sure it's not pushed up towards any particular side. So look through the centre of the aperture, centre of the front sight, and put the centre of the front sight under there. And then to check your position, now if you move your hips right, your natural position moves left, and I'm exaggerating this here. Move right, you see the rifle automatically moves that way.
Yeah, it shifts.
If we move forward, we're pointing at the 50-metre targets downstairs.
Yeah.
If we move backwards, we're pointing above the targets. And that's the principle. And contrary to popular belief, the rifle does move between between the primer going off and the bullet leaving the barrel. And if there's any tendency, for instance, if the rifle wants to point over there, and then I've pulled it back here, during the time when the rifle is starting to move back, it will have the tendency to go wherever it naturally wants to go. You have no control over the rifle between ignition and bullet leaving. It's going to do what physics tells it to do. So if your muscles are tending to want to go somewhere other than you're actually pointing it, the physics will pull it towards where it's actually pointing. And at some point I'm going to do a video on this and showing quite a lot of detail how this actually impacts on target, and people often forget this. So you want to lie roughly with your left leg aligned with the left side of your body, right leg in a comfortable position. It doesn't matter too much as long as it's comfortable, but it should be relaxed. Rifle pointed at the target, and the way to check whether it's pointing in the right place is you aim at the target, you shut your eyes, you breathe in, breathe out, open your eyes, and you see where it's pointed. Look through the sights. And if it's pointed too much to the right, you move your hips to the right, and then check it again until the point at which it comes back up naturally, more or less where you want it. As a beginner, I mean, after 25 years of doing this, I can get it coming back up so that I can open my eyes and release the shot. That took a lot of practice. But as a beginner, as long as you're not yoinking it in from miles away, if it comes up more or less on, you can just tweak it. Then comes trigger pressing, and this has a two-stage trigger, which means, and it is empty, that there's a bit that does nothing, the first pressure, and then there's the brake, and then it'll go bang. Because it is a gas-operated semi-auto, it's fairly soft on the recoil, because the internally moving bits of it soak up, in inverted commas, some of the recoil. The final thing is following through, so we don't react to the shot. So basically, if I just get it back in a state, so I'm going to aim, close my eyes, breathe in, breathe out, open my eyes, I'm on, squeeze, bang, and I'm not going to react to it, which is quite difficult to do because this whole thing, there's all sorts of fire and brimstone going on. So don't release the trigger or anything. Just keep the trigger pressed, bang, until the recoil's finished, and then release it, and you'll hear it go click. The butt needs to be in your shoulder, and ideally, unlike Lindy Beige, you actually have some muscle in your shoulder, and you're not all bone. So I will help you get it in the right place in your shoulder, if necessary. It's something I tend not to think about because it sort of comes naturally after a long time. And that should be good. And I'll just quickly show you loading it.
Sure.
And then I'll unload it. And then we'll get you on it dry.
For the dry firing.
So you will have heard of M1 thumb.
Yes, I have.
There's two variants of M1 thumb. There's doing it when you ease springs like that. These clips are fairly tight. It's called a clip, an en bloc clip. 8 rounds, and it goes in. There's two ways to do this, and I'll teach you the 40 drill manual way, which I like. Just the back of the hand against the cocking handle, just so that if it does ride forward, it'll knock your hand out the way and knock your thumb out the way. There are people out there who say it can't happen, but I've seen it happen. So you line up the guide. If you have any troubles, I'll help you.
Sure.
push it down with your thumb, with the back of your hand against that, and then it will release.
Yeah.
And you see it doesn't jump forward, but you can see how a worn rifle with a worn clip that could ride forward, and then that would knock it out the way.
Yeah.
And then you just tap it forward like that, and that is now loaded.
Okay, so I just smack it with the back of my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just palm of your hand like that.
Okay.
Any problems, I can intervene. Sure. You don't need to worry about unloading it.
Yeah.
Because we'll shoot the full clip. But that's how it works.
Yeah.
So we'll get you in a shooting jacket, get you lying down here, and then you get the Mike's eye view at home.
Excellent.
So you're in a shooting jacket, which is basically just giving you some elbow protection and some shoulder protection.
Yeah, some padding, good.
Yeah. So if you would like to...
So I hold it here.
Yep.
And I put my hand on the block. I put this into my shoulder.
Yep. About there.
About there.
A bit higher.
Higher. And then when I want to shift the rifle, I shift my body.
Yeah, basically. Now just try and get the left elbow a little bit closer to the rifle.
Like so? Or like this?
Like that.
Yeah.
Like that. That's an excellent position. If I just come back and show that. So just find a comfortable position. It will probably... There you go.
Yeah.
So you get a half decent cheek weld.
Yeah.
And looking at it, you might be pointing a bit low.
Yeah, I think I
So
know.
slide your hips back. Now you need to maintain decent contact there, but don't squeeze it in hard, because the more muscle tension you've got, you're creating stress, and physics takes over, and that will then
so
go.
just a tight little snug fit.
Yeah. It should be held well enough to support the rifle, but not more.
Yeah.
So I will just let the bolt forward, trying not to get my foot. Okay, so take a dry shot now. So you probably put a bit more hand on the pistol grip.
Oh yeah, that makes
I tend to put my thumb there so that I can squeeze between forefinger and thumb.
Okay.
And then...
Just trying to get it properly on my shoulder. Okay, I think I have it.
So you can see the tip of the front sight in the middle of the rear sight.
Yeah.
And then just under the black with a little bit of white.
Yeah.
And then squeeze the trigger.
Okay.
Okay. It's relatively light. Let's just reset the trigger. So try that again. Right. Just finger off the trigger except when you're in the aim.
Okay.
Excuse me. And then now you can put your finger in the trigger guard. Bit more hand on the pistol grip. There you go. So squeeze it. Right, march more gently, like you're squeezing a lemon.
Okay.
And see that already. There's a bit of a tendency to jerk.
Yeah.
So what you need to be doing is you can take up the first pressure quickly.
Yeah.
And then when you feel the second pressure, just keep increasing the force on it gently until it goes bang.
Okay.
Okay. So finger out.
Yeah.
I'll just reset that. That did it. Okay. You can put your finger back in now. Check your alignment. So shut your eyes, breathe in, breathe out, open your eyes, look at where you're pointing. That was better. Did that feel better?
Yeah, that felt a lot better.
Let's do that once more just to get a bit of a sort of muscle memory, folk memory of it. Okay, happy?
Yeah.
Right, so if you... Actually, let's just start with a couple of single shots, not using the clip. So I'll just go grab a box of ammo if you'd like to put your ear defenders on.
Yes.
Okay, Pamir auf, as we say in Switzerland. So, if you would like... Okay, so I will just... Yep, that's good. So, you're now live. You're now about to take your first ever shot. So check your alignment again. And move your hips, not your hand, if you need to realign. And when you're happy that when you breathe in, breathe out, open your eyes, you are more or less where you need to be, squeeze the trigger gently. Woo! There we go. You have hit the frame.
Slightly high.
It is too high. Now, we don't adjust on individual shots.
Oh,
Get
yeah,
in the
sorry.
habit of taking your finger out. It's a good habit to build. That looked good. You are vertically good. Sorry, you're on the plumb line, as we call it, the vertical vertical line there.
Yeah.
Now, your eyes are different to mine. Your hold is different to mine, so your zero can be quite different to mine. But we will see what happens with another shot, and then maybe adjust your sights
Okay.
in
sure.
function of that. So, like to shoulder it
Yep,
up again.
put it back.
So it's pointing at the backstop. And we'll just... There we go. And if it goes off the top and registers a miss, we know it's gone high. Recoil's not too bad on that, is it?
No, it's actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
It surprised me how light it was, actually.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna go bang all the way.
No. There you go.
Slightly better.
That's a 6. So that was a 55, which is... I'm an engineer, I need a calculator. No, 45 divided by 2 is 22.5 centimetres from the middle. So let's just...
Ooh.
Shall we?
Yeah, which one?
Do you want to do it? Back of the hand, yeah.
So I just squeeze it right in.
Yep, push.
The whole hand goes with
Push,
the
push,
thumb.
Yeah, push, push, push. There you go. You feel it lock. There you go. Now get it in your shoulder.
Yeah.
And then knock it forward. Harder, harder. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Knocking that forward was probably the most painful thing about this rifle. So work on the hand position a bit.
Oh yeah.
There you go. And once you're vaguely aiming at the target, you can put your finger inside the trigger guard. Okay, that's a 3 off the other side. Just keep aiming at the same point,
Yeah.
and we'll just build a group. This is an unfair... I'm not going to make the comparison with Lloyd because he was shooting my K31 with match sights, and that's a far different beast. That's a far more accurate beast. Oops. Just off the top right.
Huh.
Okay, you also... I saw that you reacted to the shot. You pulled the trigger a bit hard instead of squeezing it, and then you
Then I
released it
released
very
it, yeah.
quickly. So we really need to squeeze, and it'll go bang. We try not to react to the fact that it's just bucked like a mule in your hands, and then release it and hear the click.
Right.
You want to hear the click of the trigger reset.
I did it again, I think.
Yep, you're a bit high. I think now I will bring you down a couple of clicks,
Yeah.
so which we can adjust like that. There you go. And bring you down 2 more. So we just had a couple in the 7 there, so we're getting good.
Getting there.
Yeah. It's just trying to relax with this thing going bang in your hands. It's the unnatural thing. There you go, you had to get one. Ah, well done. Whatever you did that time, do it again.
I'll try. Yeah, low.
Yeah. But that's pretty good. And that was excellent trigger control there. Hearing the click afterwards. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Never mind. So, your first 10 rounds out of a real rifle.
What's different than I expected?
Oh yeah? In what way?
The smell.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was thinking about shooting, coming here, I thought recoil is going to be sort of the thing I'm going to remember, I think, or it's going to notice more. And it's actually the smell that I'm noticing more than the recoil. Yeah.
Ah.
Maybe it's just because I never thought about the smell.
Yeah.
It's weird. Also, when I'm pulling, I sort of have a feeling whether that went well or didn't go well.
Yes. That's called calling your shots. Do you have an idea of roughly which direction it went?
Not sure. I'd like to think I did, but I knew the last one was gonna miss, and it did. And then when I hit very close to the bullseye, I felt that was a good one.
Yeah. It's actually it takes quite a long time before you can call your shots accurately.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, once you get up to a certain level, when you're in the zone, you know roughly where the shot is going to hit before it's even left the barrel. Just you reach a point of no return on trigger release.
Right. Yeah.
And you just know that okay, that went right, or oh no, I've completely been a muppet and it's going out in the 6 or something. But that's quite an advanced technique. But the fact that you're already feeling where the shot, whether it's good or bad or not, that's already a thing. That's already a good thing. A lot of people take quite a long time to develop that feeling.
So yeah, because in sort of the middle, so I guess what was it, shot 5 to 7 or something, I felt those were going well.
Yeah.
And then the last one, I don't know.
Where did 5? Which one was?
Well, we fired 2.
5 was up there, and then we had 6, 7, 8.
Those ones.
Relatively close. 9. That's, I mean, overall as 4 rounds. I mean, we try and not really worry about groups that are less than 5, but that's for a beginner. That's pretty good. And then shame about that last one. These are actually surprisingly small targets. I mean, the one ring is 1 meter wide.
Yeah.
And then 10 centimeters, 20, 30, 40 diameter as you go across.
I think what I should be doing is keeping my hand actually on the gun.
Yeah.
Because what I've been doing is taking it off quite often.
Yeah.
After you releasing the trigger.
Yeah.
And then I guess resetting it is going to be double as hard.
Yeah, you're slightly breaking position.
Yes. And I'm still not 100% comfortable either, but I mean, I'm going to take what I have.
It's muscle memory.
Yeah.
I mean, just learning where to put the butt on your shoulder is something that doesn't come naturally. It's a muscle memory issue.
Yeah.
And you've just got to know where in your shoulder,
where it is,
where it feels good, where it doesn't sit on a collarbone or something.
Yeah. But I liked it. I mean, the recoil is very light.
Yep.
The bang doesn't surprise me as much as I thought it would. Although I did cramp up once or twice, I think. And then, it's just the smell that really surprised me.
So do you want to take a couple more dry shots?
Yes.
Just yet we haven't got any bad habits. And it's just been pointed out to me that I should have said more on breathing. I've done it implicitly by saying breathe in, breathe out for checking the alignment. But the breathe out is about 2/3 out.
Yeah.
And that's where you want to hold your your breath 2/3 out while you release the shot. It's the point of maximum relaxation. You've still got enough air in your lungs. So just try a dry shot. I'm going to bring the camera in so we can look at your trigger control. It was a bit pulley.
Yeah.
That was a bit more pulley than squeezy. Should we try one that's a bit more squeezy than pulley?
Yeah, right there I was looking at the breathing and obviously I forgot the trigger.
There's so many. It's very easy to overwhelm, and I always try and give sort of the minimum information to make half decent hits, because there's about 15, 20 things you need to worry about. Breathe in, breathe out. Hold the sight picture and squeeze. That was much better. Let's do that once more. So, check out. You can have your finger inside the trigger now. So, breathe in, breathe out. Open your eyes. Squeeze. Okay, you took the two pressures at once there, you went straight through. So, it would be poetic justice if I get M1 finger or thumb while doing this with one hand. So, back in position.
I still have to find a comfortable position with my elbow here.
Yeah. I mean, we can move the height of this because you've got longer arms than me, I think. So,
Yeah.
do you want to move it up a bit?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, let's just pause it and do that.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Okay, so we just moved this up about an inch. So, yeah, you've got a much more natural elbow position there now. That's good. So, close your eyes, breathe in, breathe out, open your eyes. If you're on, squeeze the trigger gently. Okay, that was
I went double staging.
Yeah, so
I'm really focusing on the breathing now and then.
yeah, it's difficult to think. There's a lot to think about. Do you mind awfully if we follow? You're a pilot.
Yeah.
If we follow through, but we've only got one control, so you've got to put your finger on the trigger.
Yeah.
And you're going to follow through. So you aim. Okay. So we're going to check the alignment. So breathe in. Close your eyes. Breathe in. Breathe out. Open your eyes. Are you on?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Do you feel what I'm doing? Let's do that again. So, breathe in. We're going to take up the first pressure. You take up the first pressure.
Okay.
Okay. Close your eyes. Breathe in. Breathe out. Open your eyes.
I'm on. Okay.
Okay. You see how that felt?
Yeah.
Just the constant increase in pressure, rather than.
Can I do this constant increase as until the second stage while I'm sort of aiming,
Yes.
and then once I open my eyes, I see I'm on. I
Yes.
just go bang.
Yes. While you are, because it's pointing safely down range and it's not pointing somewhere where it's going to send a shot off into Almondingen. And it's quite a heavy trigger anyway.
Yeah.
So you can take up the first pressure while you breathe in and breathe out.
Yeah.
Open your eyes, and then you just have to squeeze through the second pressure.
Okay. Good.
So, do you want to try that?
Yeah.
And then we'll put some live in there. Does that feel good?
Yeah.
Just try and, we'll do one more. Just try and keep
then
it
hold
back.
it, yeah.
Hold it back. Look good. Right. Let us try it with we'll do another 10.
Do you want to do? No.
There you go. Ears.
Okay, I'm gonna abort. 1 second.
Yeah. You don't have to take it. If it doesn't feel right, you don't have to take it. You can abort it like a bad landing. So, 5 high left. Let's do another single, and then we'll put another clip of 8 in there.
That went off.
Okay.
I felt going
Off the
going
left.
off. Yeah.
Okay, do you want to take a break, or do you want to do the 8?
Can I just stretch my arm a bit?
Sure. It doesn't feel natural until you've been doing it for quite a long time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Right.
So you build your. Yep. And check your alignment. Your position's looking pretty good from here, but check your alignment. Ah, yeah. We've all done it once and we've all regretted it.
That went off. Yeah.
Yeah, high
Totally
right.
off. So there I was actually thinking about pulling it. Then I was like, now the real call comes. And then it was...
It's only just off though. You're still. I mean, you're like 52 centimeters from the middle to 300 meters. It's still, in the grand scheme of things, it's still.
If I would be aiming like this against a bomber, I would be hitting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that went
Right.
to the right. Do you want to take a little break?
Sure.
Because I think you're getting tired. So finger. I will. If I pass the camera over to you, I will unload it. Okay, so we've had a well-earned break.
To reload now.
To reload this, I'll do this because we're a few rounds short.
Yeah.
So this gets a little more potentially M1 thummy because now we have to pull back on that. There we go.
Okay.
So trying to remember the umpteen things you have to hold in your head at once.
As long as I hit the post load. Oh yeah, thanks. Can't even remember where the trigger is.
It's muscle memory that you develop.
Yeah.
Oh, safety's on.
Safety,
so
yeah.
I'll just. There you go.
Oh, that's better.
68 ring. So that's 16 centimeters off the middle. Oops, off the bottom. It can happen, don't worry about it.
Oh, that's fine. So what I did between those shots is actually shift my whole body.
That's
and I shift with my arms.
Finger when you're not aiming.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should minimise moving your position. From shot to shot, you shouldn't need to adjust your position much, if at all.
But it doesn't matter now, because I was so off then.
Yeah. And this is why the natural alignment is very important. Okay, that was also low, so I think whatever you did wrong there, you did it wrong twice.
Yeah.
So just break it down and come back to checking your alignment, checking your butts in your shoulder. Your left hand hold is good. Just note for people. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's just too much to overload people with. I mean, it's like expecting a novice to set up an aircraft and take off and do circuits and land, whereas we're at the trying to fly straight and level, following through on the controls stage. There you go. 8, so 79. That is just over 10 centimeters off the middle. High right. You probably snatched at it a bit.
Yeah, I did.
Last shot. And your last shot is a 7, scoring 63 rings. That's pretty good for a novice. For a first go, yep, thank you. For a first go, that's all right. That's very much all right. There's an awful lot to think about, isn't there?
There is. I'm starting to, I think, remember the things I have to think about. So I think initially the hand grip was always wrong. I started to sort of remember that. Breathing, I think, is getting better. I hope. I'm still having the trigger control issue.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to compensate with my shoulder rather than my body.
Yeah.
So
there is a natural tendency to push your shoulder in, whereas you need to move the rifle around, whereas you need to be having a relaxed position and moving your whole body. But there's just so many things, layers upon layers of things, and we just try, as I said before, we just try and get the big issues. For instance, I didn't tell you where to focus.
Right.
Because that's just an overload. It's just an extra thing that at this stage it doesn't matter if you're focusing on the target or the front sight, really.
Right.
Ideally, later, once you've mastered some of the other things, you could concentrate on focusing on the front sight. But now it's just overload. If I told you all the little things I worried about, you would just be.
It's also, I think, as a novice, you tend to think that you have to handle the gun rather than your body.
Yeah. You bring it to you.
Yes. And that's the whole shoulder issue. It doesn't matter if I reset my position because I'm gonna put the gun in the place where I'm supposed to have it anyway. Mm-hmm. Whereas actually, it seems to be you want to keep the gun where you have it. If you do place a good shot, then just make minimal adjustments with your body, with your breathing, and take the shot. Rather than seeing them as individuals, you should see them as a collective. Is that right?
Now we always tend to say that there's only one shot in the match, which is the next one.
Right. Yeah.
But it's just there's so much, and it's like driving a car. When you think of your first lesson of driving a car,
right?
There's that, and you've got at least as many things to think about with that as you've got with driving a car.
Yeah. No, but it was good. It's very satisfying in a way. And, having hit the postcode, I'll take it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Right, are you ready for your punishment beating?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I'm over-egging this, but let's go and get rifle number 2. So I may be over-exaggerating a little bit, but this is a little more lively than the M1. Actually, it's a fair bit more lively than the M1. It's very light. This is a K98k. This is the Manky Mauser in bloke on the range parlance. This particular one was made in 1938. It's had several lives, and it's in an Israeli stock. So it was probably captured by the Russians. It's had its little parrots chiselled off, but it doesn't have a Russian capture mark, and it doesn't have a Star of David, which probably went via the Soviet Union to Israel, where it got the Israeli stock. The ammunition is S&B 196 grain, which is the closest to World War II spec ammunition, so it's totally appropriate. It's a little on the lively side, but I will take a few shots to warm it up, because these can wander between cold and warm. This one is charger loaded, so we place the charger in, we push them down like that. In fact, that will eject on its own, which is quite funky. And we set to 400. There's no possibility of fine adjustment on this sight. And in fact, in the German military, the rifles were not sighted to the individual soldiers. They were not zeroed to the individual. So they just had to aim off. And in their shooting exercises, they get a couple of shots to work out where to hold, and then they just have to hold. So, let us, not wearing a shooting jacket, try and get this on target. The sights are different here. The sights are quite different here. This has a barleycorn, inverted V front sight and a V back sight, and what we do is we line up the tip of the barleycorn with the top of the V and central, and it really is the little V in the bottom there. You see it when you get it in your shoulder. Well, that's looking all right. So I'm not going to fire the remaining ones there. Now, as far as the aim is concerned, I'm basically aiming the same as I was, but because it's not got an aperture sight, the sight picture looks like that. So rear sight, front sight, underneath the black at about the same place. And that was the cold barrel shot, which went high, and then the other two went a bit lower. So I'll take the camera back off you, and you can take a few dry shots.
Sure.
So same as with the Garand?
Yep.
Yeah. Hand goes there.
Yep. So goes bolt, forward and down. Trigger's a bit lighter.
Okay, is it also a double stage?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, that there, that's your V. It's not that bit there.
That's really tiny.
So it's really tiny. And then the front sight is a very tiny inverted V.
Right.
So it's a surprisingly common error that people will use this to aim with instead of this, which is a bit of an ergonomic fail.
How am I supposed to see something like this? Oh well.
Oh yeah, it cuts off half the world. So you might find that you need to actually focus on the front sight, because you've got three things to line up now, rather than just looking through an aperture. So it's really important to make that line there and the tip of the front sight lined up underneath the black there.
Right. Okay. Is it lighter than the Garand?
It's much lighter.
Yeah, it does feel like it.
If I had to carry something around all day and not shoot it, it would be this one. So you'll probably want to wrap your hand around a bit more. So finger in.
There's nothing that spins back, is there?
No.
Okay. I don't know where to aim in this. It's
okay. Can you can see the V notch, yeah?
Yeah. No, I know the sort of the theory. It's just when I look through the V notch, it immediately my eye immediately starts focusing on sort of the bigger V that you told me not to look at.
Okay. You need to sort of ignore it. You need to almost sort of have self-generated tunnel vision to ignore it, and just look at. If you focus on the tip of the front sight, it will probably be easier because that will generate you a bit of sort of psychological tunnel vision, as it were.
Okay, so I didn't do the double stage. Okay.
Okay, well, do as many as you want, and when you're ready, let me know.
Yeah.
Put a single live round in. You just want a bit more hand on it.
It also starts slipping down my shoulder.
Yeah, they're kind of not the best buttstock shape for prone. They're a little bit better standing.
No.
I mean, the German manuals have people shooting off a rest quite high. So do you want to try and get your elbow more underneath it and put a bit more wrist on the... Slide forward. It's up. Right. Shot. Sorry about that, people. Is that a bit better?
I'll try. It's just the shoulder that keeps slipping.
Yeah. Right, should we try it?
Yeah.
Right, it basically, the shape of the butt, they're curved up the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. But apparently I'm biased or something.
Right now, I gotta admit, I'm sort of ignoring the first V, the alphabet V. Because I find it very hard to hold the gun in such a way that the first V lines up with the second V, and I'm just looking at the one right there.
Ah, the front sight.
Yeah. But we'll see where it goes.
We'll see where it goes. Okay. Forward and down.
Everybody has ear protection?
Yep. Yeah. If not, it's their problem.
Okay, let's see where this goes. Scheiße, what the fuck?
No. Instant reaction.
That's unpleasant.
Is that just British bias? Oh wait, you're not British. Where are you from?
Germany. I mean, transitioning now from the M1, you can see the difference, but that really violently went into my shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, you have it in tight. I mean, I cannot criticise your position at all.
Yeah.
And because of the toe of the butt being curved like that, it has a tendency to want to drop down on recoil. And Henry of 9-Hole Reviews has made this point on his sniper video that the butt shape is not ideal.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll do another one. I don't even know that went nowhere close. Did
No.
it?
Okay, so cycle the bolt. Okay. Aim it. Yep. Target.
So I have to aim low through the two V's.
Yep. With the tip of the front sight level with the top of the correct V, so the smallest V.
Okay.
And then just under the black. So that was off to the right.
To the right. Which is interesting, because I felt like it was aiming too far to the left.
Interesting. Because I was aiming directly under, and my left-right was fine.
Because I was aiming somewhere here.
Okay, do you want to try aiming somewhere there again?
Yeah.
Okay, so push the rounds off of the charger into the magazine.
So just here?
Yep. There you go. And then, yep.
I mean, this is satisfying.
It does go chunk, chunk.
Yeah. I prefer the sound over the Garand, but...
It doesn't go ping, though.
Yeah, it doesn't go ping, that's true. Okay. So I'm aiming again somewhere here now.
Yep.
Here?
It doesn't know. Verfehlt.
That's helpful.
Should we try one more and then...
Sure. It's just... I don't know where I'm aiming. Like...
I mean, there are people on the internet who insist that those sights are better than an aperture. What's your view as a novice?
I mean, for me, it doesn't work. Compared to the Garand. I feel like with the Garand, I know where the rifle's aiming, even though I can't hit somebody. But with this one, I'm sort of hopeful that it's going to land in this general direction.
Okay.
So...
I mean, optically, they are hard work because you've got 3 things to line up, not just 2.
Yeah.
And that cuts off half of the world.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it might work for some people, but for me, maybe with practice, I'll get somewhere close. But
as a
this
general
is
rule,
obvious.
As a general rule, anyone who says they shoot better with open sights just needs to be coaching with aperture sights.
Right. Let's try this again.
And if this one fails again, then we'll grab the other one.
Yeah.
No. Okay, let's put this one aside. So just work the bolt backwards and forwards.
And lock it down?
Don't have to.
Okay.
Put it back. Yep.
That is satisfying.
Yeah. So
Safety?
you can't put the safety on unless the bolt's closed. So don't worry about it.
Okay.
So what do you think of Urgrossi's lot compared to a GI then?
Well, if I had to choose, I think you only have to look at the result and you'll know which one I would go for. I mean, I can feel it. This one I can feel now on me as well. And I feel maybe if there was a possibility of having the Garand sights on this, just some freak modification.
Well, I mean, it could be done as a gunsmith conversion.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I know this is an iconic weapon, but it just doesn't work for me, I think. Then again, I only fired 4 shots now. With a bit of practice, maybe just sticking with it, that will take me somewhere. But just coming in, you know, let's pretend 1945, this gets put in my hands.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah, I don't have a choice, but, you know, I'm not going to be doing anything with it. Whereas with an M1, I think it does seem to be very much user-friendly compared to this. But then again, if somebody prefers these sights, this weapon, yeah, that's for them then.
Honestly, having spent quite a lot of time with it, just the sighting, the recoil, irrespective of anything else, even if it was the freaking laser beam of myth, which it isn't, even according to the Germans' own figures, it really isn't. They're very punishing. They're great to carry around all day. The sling's on the right in the right place. I'm a firm believer that slings should be on the left.
Yeah.
It's lightweight, but then when you actually come to fire it, that punishes you somewhat.
It's also it's light, and then you think the recoil is going to be lighter. At least that's the calculation that's going to be going on in my head.
That's the opposite, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty weapon, essentially. You know, if you would ask me to draw a rifle, I would probably be drawing this, but I just can't use it. Can I do one more? Just one more shot.
One more shot with this? Sure.
I just want to get it on target. Right. That's satisfying.
So just try really hard to focus on that front sight there.
Yeah.
And line it up with that, and then the whole bundle under the black. Yeah, you are on the frame.
Yeah. But there I also squeezed because I haven't been. I think what happened there is I went through a couple of shots and I sort of got into a habit of breathing.
Yeah.
Second stage, pulling, and now we had a break. And because I'm a complete beginner, this was what shot 20 now for me today, even
More
less.
20.
Well, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
anyway, it's over 20. Yeah.
Going back to it now, I already forgot the second stage trigger.
Yeah.
And I tensed up when I knew it was gonna fire.
Have another one then.
Thank you. Right.
Nope.
No. Yeah, it's not for me.
Do you want to try the Tikka, given that we've got it here, or is your shoulder hurting now?
It's fine. I think. I mean, I'm getting used to the pain.
Do you want to try the Tikka? Do you want to have a few more shots on the M1?
Sure, if that's possible.
Tikka? Yeah. Okay. So, now we have the Tikka T3x Arctic back from repair, and you will in fact fire the first shot from this on the channel.
Ooh.
Since repair.
Since repair.
So, sights exactly as before, aiming exactly as with the M1, only it's a bolt action and it's got a very light trigger on it compared.
Okay.
So if you'd like to take a dry shot,
Yep.
this one should not be dry fired too much because the manufacturer says so, but we'll allow you one or two. So you probably want to bring your hips back because it looks like you are pointing at the ground.
Is that good?
That looks better. That's good, yeah.
So is it double stage again?
Yep.
Really?
It's very light.
Yeah, super light, yeah. So
Yep.
up and down?
Yep. Good.
Where am I aiming?
Exactly as before with the M1. So under the
Slightly low.
yeah. And you'll find the front sight quite easy to centre in the rear sight because of the nice curved front sight protector there.
Yeah.
You don't really have to think about it. It sort of does it on its own.
Yeah.
So let us try it. I have just sighted this in for me. So let us see how this performs with you. Ergonomically, how does it feel?
The butt stock is better than the car. And I feel like it's better in the hand.
It's modern ergonomics. It's
But it is heavier, I think.
it is heavier than the car. It's lighter than the M1 though. That went high left, strangely.
Okay. I did aim here.
Yeah. Cycle it all the way back, all the way forward. Okay, that's off the top. So what I'm going to do, because it's sighted for me, and that's amazing how different it can be from person to person. I can't quite see there. Does that say 1?
I think so. Yeah, it does.
Right, try that. Other way, let's... There you go. Right. Just keep aiming at the same place and we'll see a group form. You're right there.
Yeah, it's just... I still need to know what actually a comfortable position is.
Oh, you won't find that out for a long time.
Yeah.
That's something that develops over time.
Oh, yeah.
Off the top. There you go, back down by the other one. There again, you're splitting groups. Is the butt always in the same place in your shoulder?
For this one, it wasn't. That's the before. But it's weird. Like once I start looking down sight, sometimes I feel like now it's in a good position.
Yeah.
And that was shot 4 and 6.
Okay.
Whereas 5 and 7, I felt I was already slightly off, but I'm gonna take it anyway to see what happens.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. If it doesn't feel right, best not take it.
I mean, it's just I don't really have a reference point to.
No, I know. Oh, it's like the first time you drive a car. You never know where you want your seat to be and how high the steering wheel and so on. It's something that comes over time.
I think that's high. Slightly.
Well called. Well called. Excellent. Yeah, high again.
But I know why it's high, because for these I wasn't aiming here, but slightly high.
Yeah, okay. You need to concentrate on that, on having that front sight in the right place. Oh, all right. So that magazine does only take 9. Huh, that's annoying. Have an extra round.
Thank you.
But there was no flinch there. The front sight stayed still when that went click, didn't it? That was good. And
yeah, high.
High again. Oh, it's a reasonable group high. It's the sort of thing that at least in the short term you could compensate with the sights.
Yeah.
The fact it's so off from where I'm set implies that there's something wrong, but just in an evening like this, it's very difficult to diagnose when we're under time pressure.
Yeah.
But I mean, otherwise that group up there is fine, and then the others sort of are off low. But that's something that over time, with a bit of coaching, you work out what's causing that.
Yeah.
Or if fundamentally it's just your eye works like that, it can be corrected by winding the sights, and it can be surprising how different it can be from person to person.
Yeah. Well, at least there is a semblance of consistency, even if it's high.
Yeah.
So.
That's the most inherently accurate rifle you shot this evening.
It was. it felt like it was also pleasantness for me. I don't know how it is for the recoil compared to the M1. I can't really remember now, but
it feels different. It's more sudden.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exactly the same ammunition we're using.
Okay.
It's a lighter rifle, but then it's got a rubber butt pad instead
Yeah.
of a metal one, and it doesn't have any movement in the action when it fires.
It did feel nicer to handle, and the sights, I really like the sights, even though I went high.
Yeah. Well, they did a fairly good job on these sights,
Yeah.
and I think they did a good. I think the Canadian Rangers have a good rifle, although their version has a slightly shorter butt and is red.
Okay.
But otherwise, it's the same rifle, and their magazines have got rubber buffers on them. But it's, I mean, this is the civilian version of what they've got. So, shall we get up off the floor and wrap up?
Yes, that's fine.
Sure. So, was that worth coming this way?
Yes, it was.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, any time. I mean, next time you're in Switzerland, give me a shout.
I will.
So, of the three rifles,
Yeah.
you actually did best with the M1.
Mm-hmm.
The 98k was a bit iffy,
Yeah,
and
we
then
won't
the
mention
Tikka,
that one.
and then the Tikka was a bit in between the two.
Yeah.
So, what that you expected to happen didn't, and what didn't you expect to happen that did?
So I expected there to be more recoil,
Mm-hmm.
and the K98 was sort of what I was expecting from any rifle, really.
That's really very much on the high end
Yeah.
for military rifles, though.
And then I didn't expect all sort of the things that nobody talks about, like the smell and sort of the blast. I didn't, and I expected to flinch, and that did happen.
When you had an accidental dry shot on the Tikka,
Yeah.
I didn't spot any movement at all.
Okay.
Actually, that was very good. I'm a
Yeah.
slight flincher, but my flinch is
Yeah.
delayed enough that it doesn't matter most of the time, except when it doesn't, and I
Yeah.
wang one out somewhere.
First sign of improvement, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly with coaching, you've got an excellent basis
Mhm.
to work on, and so when you go back to the UK, you live in London. There are tons of shooting clubs in and around London, and
Are
you're
there?
only 45 minutes from Bisley.
Okay.
So, is it something that you could consider taking up?
If I have the budget for it.
Have the budget for
Yeah.
it. Patrons of military aviation history, this gentleman needs budget for
Shooting
joining
in
a shooting
Bisley.
club.
No, but it was definitely something I was looking forward to,
Mhm.
and I wanted to do for some time, because you have to try everything once. And it is a lot with coaching, I think, with proper coaching. It's a lot, it takes a lot of stress off you as a first-time shooter. So if you have somebody, or actually multiple people, telling you, watch out for this, watch out for this, yes, you're not going to do it perfectly in the first time, at least I didn't, we all saw that, but it does take sort of the stress away, and you know
Yeah.
you're in good hands.
I mean, as a coaching philosophy with a newbie, I think I've probably mentioned this several times already in the middle of the video, but you try and just deal with the big points. You have a sort of pyramid of needs
Yeah.
of it. You deal with the big things. This is how you align the sights. This is how you align your body. This
Yeah.
is how you press the trigger. This is how you follow through. Just break it down to the four basic marksmanship principles, because otherwise you are overloading. There is just so much to think about, and so much that has to become automatic and unthinking
Yeah.
before you can actually start thinking about the fine details of trigger control and breathing and the fine details of sight alignment and all the other little bits that turn a good shooter into a great shooter. So I hope I and Buddy behind the scenes also did okay in,
Yeah, no,
in
definitely.
steering you down the right path there.
And I think the choice of guns was pretty good as well, because now I have sort of this bandwidth that I see
Yeah.
what exists out there. And starting with the M1 was probably the best call, because it did give me sort of a feedback of how I'm doing, that I'm actually able to hit something, even though I wasn't exactly consistent. Whereas if we had started with the K98, I think I would have been a lot more apprehensive about continuing to shoot.
Well, we did it that way for a reason.
Yes.
That we decided that we start with the military rifle. The Tikka was a maybe. It was will we have time for it? So we decided if we only do 2, we'll do the M1 because it's the lightest recoiling military rifle.
Yeah.
We'll do the K98k because you are from the large canton originally, as the Swiss expression has it. So that had to be done. We couldn't have not done that.
I wanted to do the Kar98 as well.
Yeah,
so.
I mean it's
iconic.
It's iconic.
Yeah,
absolutely. And it is. The stock is not optimized for prone shooting.
We've noticed.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I like the M1. I like the Tikka, the Kar98. I'm happy I shot it, and I'd have another go at it maybe sometime. We'll see. But yeah, it was fun. It was good.
Excellent. So, thank you very much for watching. Thank you to anyone who's come over from military aviation history.
Bismark.
Subscribe if you're from my channel and you're at all interested in military aviation history. The channel's name is quite descriptive. You can't trademark it.
And
please
if you're
go
from my
over there.
channel and you like something that goes bang and excellent explanations, stay here with Bloke.
Thank you very much. Bismark has Patreon. I have Patreon.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, please consider doing so, and it has enabled us to be on the range here. Thank you very much to Buddy, who is sitting over there, and Stadtschütze for their hospitality as usual. Now we're going down the restaurant to buy Buddy dinner for setting this up. So thank you very much. See you all next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.